Hello, hello, hello. How are we? Good afternoon to all of you watching so far. Welcome to episode 2, Football Forum. Had a good time with it the other night, so looking forward to getting back into it, having a chat about the weekend so far. Bit of Scottish Premier League stuff if our Scottish compatriots are back in here, and some of the worldy goals we've seen over the weekend, as well as obviously whatever you guys want to chat about. So bit of a thing. I thought we'd be streaming across Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. For some reason, there's an issue with the Twitch stream, so it is just YouTube and Facebook at the moment. But 2 platforms. That's an improvement so far. I'll keep working on the Twitch situation. I know I had a couple of guys really keen to watch on Twitch, so apologies to those guys if you do see this at some point. I'll work on getting that sorted out as quickly as possible. Also taking on your feedback. I've got a feedback from a few people about lighting. I've got a temporary fix right now, but hopefully I'm better lit than what I was before, with some more professional, if you like, lighting coming in. So hopefully everything's a bit more lit, bit easier to see, bit better quality video, should I say. Yeah, so any other feedback like that, sound, visuals, whatever it might be that's not quite working as it should be, please let me know so I can work on it and give you guys a better quality stream. We should also have a ticker now working, so when people are liking, following, donating, whatever might happen, that should pop up, as well as alert boxes, so we should get those alerts to say we're being followed and liked and all that sort of stuff. I believe there should be a donation button on there. No pressure, it's just for anyone that would like to support the stream. All that money will go back into the stream. That will go on lighting, streaming, all that good stuff to improve the quality of this stream and give you guys a better quality service. So thank you for the like, Ryan. Really appreciate it, mate. Hope you're doing well. If you guys can let me know if those pop-ups are working, that'll be fantastic as well, as I continue to tweak and adjust and work on getting this stream ticking over and working at a bit of a higher quality sort of thing. So still some work to do, obviously. I'm still getting my head around it all, but the feedback from you guys helps. So keep it coming. So moving on to what has already been a sensational weekend. First game of the season, didn't disappoint in terms of entertainment. So Brentford, Arsenal, what can you say? Hopefully Dushko will be in here a bit later on. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's hiding away somewhere, but he was pretty confident on Arsenal. But losing 2-0 to Brentford was a bit of a shock, to be fair. Arsenal obviously haven't had a great few seasons. We can't pretend they have, but we wouldn't be expecting them to go out and lose to newly promoted Brentford on opening day. So I'm sure they'll be extremely disappointed with that. And having watched the game and re-watching the highlights and stuff like that, you can see why Arsenal fans will be disappointed. Especially for me, that second goal, that was very, very poor, very, very poor defending. For those of you that have seen it, would love your feedback. But for me, yeah, that second goal was shocking. So Arsenal, a lot of work to do in order to turn things around. We've got Arsenal next week, and if they're going to play like they did against Brentford, I look forward to that game. We'll see what happens there. So Arsenal fans, if you're in there, Brentford fans, I don't know any personally, but maybe you're on the stream. Talk to us, tell us what you're thinking. I think Brentford have got Crystal Palace next week, if I remember rightly. And based on what I saw from the Palace-Chelsea game, which we'll talk about a bit later on, I can't see that going well for Palace if Brentford can replicate the performance they put in against Arsenal, especially in terms of their finishing and physicality. So Palace didn't offer a lot. But like I said, we'll talk about that a bit later on. The next cracking game, and I watched this game, 2 teams I'm not a massive fan of, to be fair, given where my allegiances lie, but the United Leeds game, absolute cracker. Perfect example of why I've been missing the English Premier League. Absolute cracking game. end to end, especially in the first half. It was just a real open, real end to end game. For those of you that didn't see it, I would advise or encourage you to watch the highlights of that game. Absolute cracking game. It was one of them games. It really, for most of the game, looked like it could have gone either way. United would have a spell of dominance and possession and getting a few shots on, and then Leeds would break and look like they were going to get one, and it was just end to end. And then United obviously got their breakthrough, and then Leeds, cracking goal from Leeds, absolute cracker. Need to have give me a second. I've forgotten who scored it now. Let me just check my notes. Should kick myself. Ayling, that's right. Ayling, absolute rocket. If you haven't seen it, already a contender for goal of the year in the first round of the Premier League. So get in there, have a look at that. Absolute rocket. Leeds fans went mental inside Old Trafford. How good is it to have fans back, by the way? For those of you that have watched any of the games, can't argue fans don't make a difference. The atmosphere, I mean, that must get the boys just pumping with adrenaline, and it looked like it. United looked like they had energy again, which they looked like they were lacking last year. Leeds were constantly pushing back. It didn't matter how out of hand the score ended up getting. They were still trying and pushing right to the very end. And they made for a cracking game to watch. So I was a big fan of the game. Like I said, Ayling's goal. I can't stand Leeds, but they got me off my seat. It was a rocket. However, short-lived. And then 3 minutes later, United score again, and then over that next 16 minutes, 4 goals in 16 minutes. Couple of real standout players was obviously Fernandes, gets his hat-trick. But for me, the surprise was Pogba. I know he's quality, and on his day, he's a beast, but it's been a long time since we've seen him play like this, and he goes out and 4 assists in one game. Now, that's impressive in itself, but then when you look at last season and you're talking about Pogba only manages 3 assists for the season last season, he's gone and got 4 assists in the first game of the new season. So, and quality assists too, not just little cutbacks or anything like that. Quality assists, a couple of really clever balls. The first ball over the top for Fernandes, quality. A nice through ball along the ground. A deep through ball along the ground, splitting the defence for Greenwood's goal. Just a quality performance from him. And if that's what he's going to put in for the season, United are going to be a very dangerous team. Sancho did get a bit of a show. He turned up for not very long. I think he got 15 minutes or so. And he sort of just potted around and passed the ball around. It was already 5-1 at that point, so there wasn't much more for the team to do. But yeah, the standouts in that game, definitely, obviously Fernandes, or Penandes, however you want to call him, and Pogba with the 4 assists. So he's already topped last season's tally for assists in one game. Well done to him. So that finished up 5-1. Sort of just pushes the point I was saying the other night about United and Liverpool being the 2 stronger teams and being the favourites for the league. Obviously, Leeds do play that open, expansive game, so if you can hold up to it well, keep the ball and make them work, you are likely to catch them and score goals. They're not defensively the most sound team in the league, so a few United fans I've talked to aren't getting too carried away with the result, but it is a sort of preview of what I was sort of expecting from United this year, and it looks like they're going to be right up for it, which is great. So, well, not great. Great for United fans, not great for me, but it was good football. So, yeah, that was a good game. So, if you didn't see it, I would seriously suggest jumping in the highlights, especially Ayling's goal. Absolute cracking goal. Yeah, well worth watching. Elsewhere, Brighton-Burnley. I think Burnley actually, if I remember rightly, scored first. And Brighton managed to struggle their way back into the game. It was sort of what I was expecting from the game. It was 2 teams I think will struggle this year. It wasn't electric by any means. And Brighton will be happy that they've gone there away and got that win at the start of the season. Burnley will be disappointed that they had that lead and let it go. It's two teams that, in comparison to some of the other games, failed to entertain, shall we say. So I was a little bit surprised how much Burnley struggled once Brighton got back into the game, but they're usually a little bit more resolute than that. But it is first game of the season. Can't look into it too much. We'll see what plays out there. But they are two teams I think will struggle. I'm going to skip over Chelsea Palace. I'll come back to that. We'll come back to it. Who have we got in the chat at the moment, boys? Say hello so I know who's here, and we'll chat about your teams if I know who they are. Say hello. Let me know you're here. Drop us a like, all that good stuff, and we can get the chat going while I go over the results and stuff as well. Let us know what games you've watched, all that good stuff. So, Everton Southampton, a surprising game for me. I thought Benitez at Everton, very defensive. I was expecting not too much attacking flair. I thought they were going to sit back and just be hard to beat. Southampton got off to a decent start, got the 1-0 lead. Great goal from Armstrong. For those that didn't see it, bit of a mistake in the back from Everton, trying to play out from the back, gave up an easy goal. Armstrong finished it well. He would have endeared himself to the Saints faithful on his debut. But Everton just came back with too much class and some quality goals in that game, to be fair. My highlight for that game would be the Dominic Calvert-Lewin goal. Diving header. Well worth watching. It's good to see a diving header. You don't get to see them very often, so I'm a big fan of the header myself. So I enjoyed that one. I would encourage you to look that up. But yeah, so decent game. Everton surprised me. I didn't think they had that sort of attacking intent in them under Benitez. However, bit silly really. I should have had a look at the team with your Richarlisons and your Dominic Calvert-Lewins. They're going to score goals. They are going to score goals. I just thought they were going to be more defensive than they were. That's all. So, cracking effort from Everton. Might have me reevaluating where they might end up. Again, first week of the season, so won't get carried away yet. But yeah, quite surprised with how well they handled that game. Next game. Leicester Wolves. The highlight of this game is the celebration. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. So Vardy's partying again. He comes back in, scores the winner for Leicester in what was a tough game, and Wolves managed themselves well. They did play well and had their chances. They weren't outplayed in any way. They done well. Vardy with an absolute cracking finish. But like I said, the highlight being the celebration. So he runs over to the Wolves fans after scoring, cups his hands and starts howling at them. Absolute classic to see. Absolute shithousery at its finest, shall we say. So for me, that brought a smile to my face. It was a bit of a crack up. Again, it was a good goal, and it is worth watching. It was a tough finish, a clinical finish from what is ultimately a very, very good striker. But the celebration had me giggling. I enjoy that. So Leicester off to a winning start, which they would have been hoping for. Not as impressive as they probably wanted to be. Not as decisive as they probably wanted to be. But at the end of the day, they've got the 3 points on the board. They can get another week's work in, crack on next week, and hopefully push on from there for their point of view. And then another surprise. So for those of you that watched, you'll know that I sort of had Watford down as one of the great unknowns this season. And playing Villa first up, I thought Dean Smith, I know they lost Grealish, but I know Dean Smith is a quality manager. He's got a lot of experience. He's done well with that Villa team in the Premier League. And he still has a decent squad around him. So I thought going into that, Villa should be coming away from that one with the 3 points. But Watford surprised. Villa put up a valiant fight, but Watford surprised and come out 3-2 winners in the end. Not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting at all. The questions will obviously naturally be around Grealish, whether he would have made the difference. There's definitely an argument to say he would have. But at the end of the day, Watford have gone out and got the job done. And like I said, it did surprise me. It did surprise me. I wasn't sure what to expect from them. Again, I'd love your feedback, what you guys reckon. Talk to us. I wasn't expecting Watford to go out and beat Villa first game of the season. I thought they were going to take some time to work their way into it. Newish manager, should I say. Just come back into the Premier League. I thought it would have taken some time to get settled, but it seems the new teams up this year are doing well, with the exception of Norwich. 3-0. I think they'll be disappointed. I think Norwich will be disappointed, losing 3-0 at home. They did play Liverpool, and as you know, Liverpool are my title favourites this year. I think they are going to be a strong, difficult outfit to break down. I did feel sorry for Norwich for that. If you didn't watch the game, the first two Liverpool goals had an air of luck about them. The first goal sort of come from Salah taking a poor touch, trying to control the ball. I'm sure Liverpool fans out there will try and argue that he meant that pass or whatever else, but he was definitely trying to control the ball. He's taken a heavy touch, and it's just bounced through nicely for the finish for 1-0. Definitely a bit of luck about that one. Second goal, same again. Hard to argue it was intentional, but at the end of the day, you've got to be in the right place to score. You've got to be at the right end of the pitch to score, and Liverpool were. And then Salah rounding it off. Absolute cracking finish, as he's more than capable of doing. Smashes in a goal from just outside the box on the right-hand side, left foot, top corner. Another cracking goal. There's been cracking goals all weekend, and this just adds to the list. Liverpool coming out comfortably 3-0 winners in the end. Never really in doubt, never really under pressure. Handled the game very well, very professional performance, and a good 3-0 win to start the season, which is what they would have been after. So both Liverpool and United, who I would imagine would go on to bigger things this season, off to the start that they would have been expecting and that I was expecting. Probably 5-1 I wasn't expecting, to be fair, but a good strong start from both teams. So it's going to be an interesting season from what we've seen so far. We'll see what happens. We'll get on to my boys. Chelsea versus Palace. Very good result, very good win. I think similar to United fans that I've spoken to, I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, because at the end of the day, for anyone that watched the game or has seen highlights of the game or anything like that, Palace offered very little. And it sort of goes back to what I was saying about Vieira not having the experience at this level as a coach. He just didn't seem to have an answer. He tried to change things up a few times. It didn't really impact the game at all. Chelsea were never in any danger, controlled the game very nicely, moved the ball around very nicely, nice and sharp, which, considering the team's coming off 120 minutes in the Super Cup on Wednesday, to back that up again and play as comfortably as they did, was good to see as a Chelsea fan. And that was without Kante in there, who, I think most people would agree is the best midfielder at what he does. Thanks for the like, baby. He's the best midfielder at what he does. Having him out obviously doesn't help. And obviously Lukaku coming in against Arsenal next week, as he's still in quarantine. With those two to come back, and based on what we saw from the game, very positive. Again, more cracking goals. First goal, Marcus Alonso free kick from the right side, straight into the top corner off his left foot, as Alonso does. Beautiful goal, absolutely beautiful goal. Followed up, Mason Mount picks the ball up on the right wing. 1-2 with Azpilicueta, cuts it back. Pulisic finishes. Thanks for the like, Tony. I'm sure you're wrapped with the result from your boys, mate. As I was saying, 1-2 with Azpi. Cross the ball in. Pulisic finishes, gets himself off the mark. And on that note, Pulisic's record against Palace is insane. So he's played 5 games against Palace since joining Chelsea, and he's scored 5 goals. So 5 goals in 5 games. Palace is definitely the team that Pulisic wants to be starting against, which is, I won't complain. And then the final goal, probably the best one for me, just for sentimental value, Trevor Chalobah making his senior debut for Chelsea. He's been at the club since he was 8 years old, come up through that academy team, very, very successful academy team, plays outstanding. He ends up getting there to the match, scores a screamer, picks the ball up 30 yards out or so, 25, 30 yards out. The crowd's just cheering at him to shoot. He takes the shot. Beautiful goal. Falls to his knees. It means so much to him. Brilliant to watch. Absolutely brilliant to watch. That's what football's all about. If you haven't seen it, check it out for the moment as much as the goal. But yeah, cracking goal. And a very important goal to him, I'm sure. So hopefully we keep hold of him and he keeps doing well. But cracking game. Again, like I said, though, Palace didn't offer any resistance or any fight. And I think there's going to be a lot of questions asked of Vieira. I think Palace need to hit the transfer window pretty hard with what they've got left, a week and a half or so. I think they need to hit that transfer window and bring someone in to make a difference. Zaha was just walking around the pitch. He didn't look like he wanted to be there. I don't know where he thinks he's going to go when he's playing like that. He's not going to get himself a transfer to any decent club with what he was putting on yesterday, whatever time zone you're in. But yeah, it was a very disappointing performance from Palace's point of view, I would say. So, Tony, did you watch the United game, mate? What did you reckon? Don't forget, guys, if you are in here, just drop us a hello. Let us know you're here. Drop us a like. Share the feed. Let people know you're here. Thanks for the like, mate. Welcome to the stream. Who do you follow? I can't quite see your name properly for some reason. I'll try and fix that up. Give me a minute. But yeah, so as I was saying, disappointing. Aminu is I am sorry if I'm saying that wrong, mate. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the like. Say hello for us. Tell us who you're following, and we'll have a chat about your team, mate. Haven't seen the game yet, Tony. It's well worth a watch, mate. Cracking result. If you didn't see me saying, Fernandes and Pogba, mate. Oh, insane. Exactly why I've got you guys and Liverpool favourites. You guys tore it up. Very, very good game to watch. How you doing, mate? You healthy? You doing well? Yeah, so that's pretty much the roundup from the Premier League. I was going to talk some Scottish Premier League when Eddie comes in. If Eddie comes in, we'll see how that goes. We'll give it some time, see if he pops up. If not, we'll just talk about it a bit later on. We'll give him a bit more time to join the stream, as well as goals. So for me, goal of the weekend, it's so hard to say. It's hard to argue against that goal from Aylan for Leeds. I think that will probably end up being the goal of the weekend. Absolute rocket shot against United. Gave Leeds a little bit of hope before United just buried them. So yeah, that's probably going to be my goal of the week. But I'd love to hear from you guys what you reckon. Who gets your goal of the week? Who gets your player of the week? Obviously, we've still got a couple of games to go. We've still got United Spurs. What am I saying? We've still got City and Spurs and Newcastle West Ham. So if we keep getting cracking goals and cracking games like we have so far this weekend, I'm keen for both of those games. Say hello, guys. Who's in the stream? Talk to me. I can see you're watching, but I can't see who you are. So say hello. Drop us a like. Drop us a share. Let's get some people in here and get chatting. We're just talking Premier League, goal of the week, team of the week, player of the week, whatever you like. Yeah, so player of the week for me from the games I've seen so far, it's going to be between Fernandes and Pogba. You can't argue that. I'm probably going to go Pogba on the 4 assists. Again, like I was saying, the quality of the assists were fantastic. I think he's a funny one for me, Pogba. He looks lazy sometimes. He looks like he's just strolling around, not putting in a whole lot of effort, but he can turn a game on its head in a second with some quality final balls, quality through balls, and passes you just don't see a lot of players even attempting that he's pulling off. And Fernandes wouldn't have had his hat-trick if Pogba wasn't putting these balls in. So I'm going to go with Pogba for player of the week so far. Like I said, we do have 2 more games to go. But as it stands, Pogba's game is going to take some beating. Having said that, if De Bruyne is at full fitness, we could see something similar from him. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, for me, goal of the week, Ayling for Leeds against United. Player of the week will be Pogba. Celebration of the week, I'm going to give to Vardy. Absolute quality celebration. Very cheeky. I enjoyed it. All round performance. I was very impressed with Chelsea, and I'm not just saying that being a Chelsea fan. I thought, although United dominated, there were times in that game where they looked like they were under a bit of pressure, which you're going to get against Leeds. Any team's going to get that against Leeds because they're high pace, in your face, very annoying to play against. So you expect these scrappy games against Leeds. For the first half especially, the midfield was so congested. I thought Leeds did a very good job of taking Man United's midfield out of the game and making it very difficult to play through there. So for the first half of that game especially, I really wasn't sure which way that game was going. Whenever it looked like United was in the ascendancy, Leeds would counter on the other side and get a bit of dominance going there. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Chelsea for performance of the week so far. Liverpool close second. I thought Liverpool done very well as well. But I was expecting it from Liverpool. I wasn't quite expecting to have that comfortable a start for Chelsea, especially with Kante being out as well. So, yeah, but again, what games have you watched? Which one was your favourite? For me, my favourite was actually United Leeds, despite Chelsea playing really well and getting a good result. United Leeds, for me, was the most exciting game I watched for the weekend. Really got me in the mood, actually. Really got me up for it. So, cracking game. Who we got in here, guys? Say hello. Talk. I can see people are watching. I just can't see who you are. So, say hello. Let me know you're there. Yeah, like, share, that good stuff. Let's get some people in here. We'll move on to the Scottish Premier League stuff. If Eddie joins, fantastic. If he doesn't, oh well. So, I've got some notes here. I did promise Eddie I'd do a bit of a look up for it, and I have. Not in depth in terms of I haven't covered the whole league because I just haven't had that much time on my hands. But what with obviously trying to organise my stream and everything as well. But I have done a bit of coverage on the two teams that Eddie will most want to hear about. So Celtic, Eddie will obviously be hoping can reclaim their place on top of the league. I think they're going to struggle. From what I've seen, from what I've read, from what I've looked into, I think it's going to be a tough year. For those that don't know, Celtic were in pretty heavily for Eddie Howe before they signed Postecoglou. Obviously, Eddie Howe hasn't come through, so Postecoglou is, to me, a make-do signing until they can get someone they want in. I could be wrong on that, but that's sort of just how it comes off. Because they were chasing. Sorry, pardon me. They were chasing Eddie Howe for a few months and no luck. So they've ended up with Postecoglou. I can't help but feel it's not their dream signing. When you look at where he's coached, he's done well in the A-League. He's done well in the J-League. Are they on par with the Scottish League? I would argue probably not. Especially the top teams in your Celtics and your Rangers, I'd argue that that's a higher quality teams and definitely a higher exposure than what you're going to get in the J-League and the A-League. So it's a higher caliber of team in terms of the attention on it and the pressure from the fans. I don't know how Postecoglou is going to go there. Maybe he'll do well. We'll see. But it definitely doesn't feel like that was the signing that Celtic would have made if they had more time to pick who they wanted, or if they obviously could have got Eddie Howe. So what they have done, though, they've brought in Joe Hart. Massive signing for him. I know Joe Hart's not been setting the world on fire recently in terms of his ability in goal, but at some point he was a top keeper. Thanks for the like, Steph. How you doing, mate? You doing well? Yeah, so at some point Joe Hart was a top keeper. Celtic have signed him from Spurs. Spurs won't be crying over that one. Celtic will be happy they've got themselves what is a decent keeper. especially given that was a position they were pretty keen to sign someone in. They did need a higher caliber keeper. And James McCarthy from Palace has come into Celtic as well. Another good signing. I think for the Scottish Premier League, I think McCarthy is a very good signing. I think he'll be a quality midfielder at that level. And I think that he'll go a long way to strengthening Celtic through the middle of the pitch. Not just for his ability, but more his experience that he brings to that level as well. So I think they're two good signings. Like I said, they were desperate for a keeper. So Joe Hart, whilst most Premier League fans will probably snicker at that, I think in the Scottish Premier League is a good signing. I think it's a good signing, and Celtic did need that keeper. They're also in talks to try and sign Aurelio Buta. He's a right back from Antwerp. He's actually a quality little player. So for those of you that haven't seen him, he's worth watching. He is worth watching. They're in talks to try and get him. And they're also trying to get young Jan Couto from Man City, who's a young right back. He's quite highly sought after from a number of clubs. Celtic are one of them. So Celtic are obviously pretty keen to fill that right back role with either of those players, Aurelio Buta or Jan Couto. Both would be good additions. For me, Aurelio is probably going to be the better option for the immediate future. But Jan Couto's got a good future, I would reckon. So neither of those are going to be a disappointing signing or acquisition, shall we say. What issue Celtic does have is based around their talisman striker, Edouard, who is a gun. Just to clarify, he is a gun striker. It looks like he's going to be moving to the Premier League at some point. Postecoglou's come out himself and admitted that the club losing him for free is a concern. He becomes a free agent next season. So they're caught in the rock and a hard place here. They've got a really good striker. They love him. They're not confident they can re-sign him. So now they've got to make a decision whether they stand strong and keep him for the season or move him on and get some money on him while they can. It's going to be a problem. Leicester and Brighton are both in for him. I think Leicester are pretty keen on bringing him in as a long-term replacement to Vardy. Brighton are just looking to add to the strength of their squad. Both will be good locations for him. He'll do well for both of those teams, in my opinion. But it comes down now to Celtic whether or not they want to give up that striker for some money or hold on and lose him for free. And it's one of them ones where I think money usually does the talking. Will it happen this transfer window? I don't know. If they keep him till January and cash in, probably to me that's going to be their best option. So they've got that striker for half a season that they know they can rely on. He's there for them, and then in January they can still try and get some form of fee out of him. I can't see the point in keeping him beyond January because he will be going for free, and then they're not confident they're going to keep him. So I don't know. If you're in here, Celtic fans, what do you reckon on that one? Do you keep Edouard till the end of the year and let him go for free? Like I said, I think your best option is to keep him till January and then try and get something out of him in January, so you at least get half a season out of him. Or does he go this window? I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, the interest in him is pretty high. He is a quality striker. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because that is going to have a massive impact on Celtic's season as well. For Rangers, obviously they're the defending champions. They won the league by 25 points. So whatever Celtic's going to do to close that gap, they've got to do soon, and they've got to do quite a bit. It's not a small gap to close for any club at any level. So they've also brought in John Lundstrom from Sheffield United. I think, and again, similar to the McCarthy signing, quality signing for the Scottish Premier League. He's a very experienced player. Giving them that depth in the midfield, I think he's going to be absolutely quality at Rangers. Rangers also have their own issues though. Alfredo Morelos looks like he might be on his way out the door to the Premier League. Again, a very good player for Rangers, and I don't think they'll be too keen on losing him. and again, he's a tough one to replace. He's a tough one to replace. They had brought in this guy, Fashion Sakala. I don't know if you guys have heard of Fashion Sakala, but they've brought him in, and they've brought him in from Belgium, and he looks like he's going to be a decent player. But I don't think that means Rangers will be any happier about losing Alfredo Morelos. I'd still say, based on where we're at the moment with the signings and the issues that Celtic have got in terms of Edouard, I think Rangers will go into the season favourites. I think Celtic will struggle to close that gap, but I do think Joe Hart and McCarthy, quality signings that will go some way towards closing that gap. So it'll be an interesting one. We've got plenty of viewers in here, and I'm not hearing from any of you guys. Come on, talk to me. Say hello. Let me know you're here. Drop us a like. Share the stream. If I don't know who you follow, tell me. Stefan, if you're still in here, are you watching the Tottenham game this weekend? And if you are, or let me know what's going on with Harry Kane. What do you think is going to play out there? But yeah, guys, say hello. I can see that there's guys here, but I can't see who you are. So I need you guys to talk to me. Let me know you're here, and we can get that conversation happening. So that's, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've got in the Scottish Premier League. Rangers, I think, will go forward as favourites. Celtic, I think, will close the gap a little bit because they did have a point deduction, if I'm not mistaken. They did have a point deduction last season, which led to that 25-point gap being as big as it was. But yeah, I don't think Costa Coglu's cut out for the Scottish Premier League, or for a team that big in the Scottish Premier League, should I say. And yeah, I think there's a lot of transformation that needs to happen on the pitch for Celtic for them to be pushing up to that top end of the table again and taking that title from Rangers. So we'll see how that plays out. It's it's a tough one. Being Chelsea, I kind of favour the Rangers, if I'm honest. Blues Brothers and all that sort of jazz. But it'll be an interesting one. So hopefully Eddie will pop in soon and give us his thoughts. He knows. Hate to say Kane wants to leave and we shouldn't stop him, but we will be screwed. Yeah, Stefan, I think if Kane does leave, it's going to be... I can't see how Tottenham replace him. I can't see a player of the same calibre coming into Tottenham. You do still have Heung-min Son, so if you can get someone that can work off him, I think that will lessen the blow, because that guy is quality. I really rate him. But yeah, do you reckon he leaves before the transfer window closes, Steph, or is it going to be a January thing? Let us know what you reckon there. Stefan, how we spent the money right, not like the money we spent on Bale. Yeah, it's a tough one. Like I said, when Kane leaves, there's not a ready replacement sitting around ready for you guys to buy. It's going to come down to getting someone that can work off Heung-min Son. Heung-min Son's going to be your main guy now, and you're just going to find someone that can work off him well. That's my opinion. But what do you reckon? Does he go January? Does he go before the transfer window? When do you reckon he goes? To me, it seems the sooner they get it done, the better, because it's going to give them more time to get someone in. But they seem to be dragging it out. I don't know if they're planning on trying to force him to hang on, or I don't know what's going to play out there. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Deadline day. That would be not ideal. Not ideal. A deadline day, unless they've got someone lined up who they want to try and get. I don't know. Have you heard? Have they got someone in mind that they want to get should Kane leave? Because unless that is the case, deadline day is probably not going to be ideal for Tottenham. If City get him, they'll be wrapped. It's Spurs we won't. Yeah, exactly, Stefan. I don't know what Daniel Levy's doing sometimes. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Transfers aren't as easy as a lot of fans seems to think they are. There's a lot of stuff that has to go on behind the scenes, and I get that, but I can't see how leaving it till deadline day, if you haven't got a replacement in mind, I can't see how that's going to play out well for Tottenham, especially when you're trying to replace Harry Kane. He was the leading goal scorer and leading assist provider in the league, which is a very rare combination. So I don't know. Are you watching the game, Steph? Are you going to watch the game? And what are your predictions? Because I know City are having their problems as well. I don't know if you watched the stream the other night, but City aren't exactly clicking in attack with injuries and fitness problems and blah, 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 blah. So they're not exactly firing on all cylinders at the moment. It's probably the best time to play City. But let us know what you think's going to play out there. Who else is in here, boys? Give us a hello. Give us a like. Let us know you're here. Do something so I know you're about. And let's talk about your teams. Let's talk about other teams. Let's talk about football. Let's do it. So say hello. Let us know you're in here. What are we moving on to? Spanish League. That's what I was going to talk about. The Spanish League. Stefan probably can't watch it with work. Oh man, disappointing. I'll be sure to let you know how it goes. But no, that's understandable, mate. At least you're still working. It's a good position to be in. Some people aren't. So anyway, what's your prediction on it, Steph? What do you reckon's going to play out there? Spanish League. That's the other one I wanted to talk about. So as with most of the European leagues, actually, Spanish League seems to be struggling massively from this COVID outbreak, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. Barcelona, their troubles are plastered all over the news. There's no secrets there that they're in a pretty bad place financially. Players agreeing to layaway fees and blah, blah, blah. It's not looking good for them. I think they're like 1.4 million euros in debt or something. I don't know how they plan on working around this long term. At the short term, they've got some loyal players there that are happy to take a hit to keep them ticking over. But is that going to be the case 3, 4, 5 years from now? Probably not. Is this the fall of the Spanish giants? Do we start seeing Barcelona tumble down the order? Do we start seeing Real Madrid's and Atleticos, especially since Spain have brought in this financial fair play thing they've brought in? Do you think that these teams now are going to struggle to perform on the European front? I think they will. I think when you look at PSG just splashing money around however they like, bringing in Messi, obviously Messi's on a free transfer, but they've still got to pay his fees and all that sort of stuff. And then they're paying for Neymar and Mbappe. They're paying massive wages for these guys. I think PSG are going to be very tough to stop in Europe at the moment. It seems to be PSG and Premier League clubs seem to be the only teams and clubs that are getting through this pandemic okay. The Spanish teams, the Italian teams really seem to be struggling with it, really seem to be struggling financially. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in terms of on the European stage, not just their local domestic leagues. I think Barcelona are going to struggle massively. I think without Messi there to sort of buoy the team on, I think we're really going to start to see that fall apart. But again, I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you reckon. It's just an interesting time because not that long ago we were talking about La Liga competing with Premier League in terms of most watched, most enjoyable, all that good stuff. And since this pandemic, it seems to have just dropped away. So it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I do feel sort of sorry for them. I can understand why the Spanish League's brought in the financial fair play rules, given the financial troubles that are around. I can't see those financial fair play rules staying around. I will say that. I can't see them sticking around for long because I think as soon as your Barcelonas and Real Madrids start to struggle in Europe, it reflects poorly on La Liga and the interest in La Liga, especially now there's no Ronaldo, no Messi. The interest in La Liga will start to plummet if those results start to drop off. So I don't think those financial fair play rules will be a long-term thing. I think they'll get scrapped in order to keep them competitive on the continental stage. But I think for the next year or two at least, it's going to have a pretty bad impact on Spanish football. And obviously Italian football struggling with their finances as well. So hence the sale of Lukaku. I know Inter wouldn't have been keen on that. Conte has left Inter Milan. For those of you that don't know, he left based on the fact that there was going to be no further investment in the squad. And they were going to have to sell people on in order to balance the books, basically. So Conte was disappointed that he wasn't getting further support after winning the league, which is fair enough. You can understand that. I'd be pretty disappointed myself to take a team to that level after so long and to knock off Juventus after that long, and then find out that your team's sort of consolidating for the trophy it's got, and then it's just almost going into survival mode now rather than pushing on and getting back to their glory years. So, yeah, it'll be interesting how the European football plays out this year. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think it's going to be a good season for a lot of smaller leagues, teams from smaller leagues, teams like your Ajax and guys like that rely on their academy to bring through quality players. It's going to be cheaper for them. They can still operate pretty much the same way they normally do, and that, in my opinion, will give them the opportunity to start bridging that gap to your Barcelonas and stuff like that. Again, a couple of years ago, if I was saying something like Ajax are going to start catching Barcelona, people would say I was crazy. But the fact is, for the current climate around COVID, with the financial fair play rules coming into play for Spain, Ajax's model is much more suited to the current environment than what Barcelona's is. So, do we see the likes of Ajax and other clubs around that sort of level pushing into the later stages of the Champions League more frequently? What do you reckon? And if you reckon we do, what sort of clubs do you reckon are going to get to that point? It's it's a very interesting time to be a football fan. So yeah, let us know what you reckon. Who gets into the later stages of the Champions League? Who wins the Champions League? Same for Europa League. It's going to have the same effect on the Europa League. You look at the Europa League recently, Spanish teams are dominating in there. Can they continue to do so with the financial fair play in place and affecting their squad? I don't think they can. I think we start to see some other teams come in and win trophies there. So who is it? What sort of teams come in and win trophies in their place? We'll wait and see. But I'm keen to hear from you guys what you reckon. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out as well. So upcoming games, I think we've already spoken a little bit about it for the Premier League. City, Tottenham, I'm keen on that game. I will be watching that game for sure. I think it's a good game to gauge which team is going to fix their issues more quickly. City, I would say, will come out with the win. I think they're just a little bit better run club. Well, not a little bit. They're a much better run club. They've got a better manager. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm going to go with City on that. And Newcastle, West Ham. I think West Ham are going to absolutely smash Newcastle. I don't think it'll be close. So I think comfortably win 3-0. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't see anything for Newcastle fans to get excited about so far this season unless they do something pretty crazy in the transfer window. It's a tough year to be a Toon, and I think they will be languishing at the bottom of the table. From what I've seen from the weekend so far, Burnley and Brighton, Villa and Watford will also be struggling if the games that I've seen so far are anything to go by. There'll be tough game. There'll be a sort of tough relegation battle between those sort of 4 or 5 teams. So it'll be interesting. Steph, I didn't get your prediction, mate. Who wins? City, Tottenham? Who else is in here? I can see there's a few of you watching. Say hello. Let me know you're here. So I can say hello back and we can have a chat. So say hello. Let me know you're around. Give us a like. Share the stream. Get your mates in here. Let's get this chat popping. We had a really good night the other night. Popping around, bit of banter, really good conversation. Would love to get some of that happening again. But it starts with you guys. If you don't say hello, I don't know you're there. So I can see that you're there, but I don't know who you are. So yeah, be right back. Gonna grab a drink, say hello, and I'll talk to you when I get back. Sorry guys, getting a bit parched. Stefan, Man City to win 3-1. Yeah, right. I don't know if it'll be. I think it'll be tighter than that, Stefan. Like I said, City have got their problems with their attack. They're not exactly on fire at the minute. It's probably the best time to play them. I think they win. I don't know if they win 3-1. I think it's tight. I think 1-0, 2-1, something like that. Who scores for Tottenham though? That's what I want to know. Who scores for Tottenham? Steph? Probably Heung-min Son. If I had to guess, if Tottenham would score a goal, I'd say Heung-min Son is probably the guy to get it. But yeah, who do you reckon? Talk to me. Who else is in here, boys? Say hello. If we don't get some more chit-chat going, we'll probably call it an hour and look to stream again after the last games for the Premier League weekend. We'll have a chat about those. Billy Gilmore, next Scotland captain, outstanding for not. Yeah, Edward, he really was outstanding for Norwich. I think he played really well. I felt bad for him. He done a lot of the right things. I think it's just going to take a little bit of time for the team around him to understand how he operates. I think that's the problem rather than... I think Norwich have a good squad. I think they will push on and do good things this year. I think they were unfortunate to be playing Liverpool at pretty much full strength to start the year. But yeah, Gilmore, he's a quality player. I've said it before. There's a reason he's likened to Cesc Fabregas. His passing is brilliant. He's amazing on the ball. Very, very, very promising young player. So I think he'll do big things for Norwich this year. I think Norwich will push on and do well. I think it's just unfortunate that they copped Liverpool first game of the season. But I think they'll push on well, Eddie. Did you see my little spell about Scotland, mate? I've done a little bit of a chat about the Scottish League. Were you around or did you just pop in now? Yeah, Steph, who do you reckon scores for Tottenham? Talk to us about that. And yeah, who else is here? Say hello, boys, so I can interact with you guys. This is what this is about. I'm here to chat to you, bounce ideas and have a chat and have a bit of banter and a good bit of fun. So, just in, Eddie. I done a full on Scottish Premier League spill for you, mate. But quick recap for you. I think Rangers go in favourites. I know you want to smash me for saying it. And my reasoning for that is Postecoglou. I don't think Postecoglou is the right fit for a club as big as Celtic, to be honest. I don't think he's done anything that shows that he's ready for a club that's that big. I will say I think you guys closed the gap pretty significantly because you've brought in Joe Hart. You did need a goalkeeper. You've brought in McCarthy, who's going to be in the Scottish Premier League. He's going to be a quality addition into your midfield. I think that's a good signing as well. And you're pretty active in trying to find a right back. Aurelio Boots is probably going to be your best option if you can get him from Antwerp. It looks like you're pretty heavily linked with him. He's a quality player. If you get him in, again, massive steps towards closing that gap. But here's actually while you're here, Eddie, you can answer this for me. Edouard, he looks like he's on his way out at some point. He's pretty heavily linked with Leicester and Brighton both wanting him. For me, I would say, because he's a free agent next season, I would say an ideal scenario for Celtic is probably keep him till January and try and get something for him in January. But do you think he goes this pardon me. Do you think he goes this transfer window? Do you think he goes in January, or is he going to go for free next season? Postecoglou has said that him going for free is an issue for the club, and I tend to agree. You don't want to let a player of that quality go for nothing. But what are your thoughts on that? How does that play out? Who else is here, boys? Say hello for me. I'm here to talk to you guys. So, but yeah, I think Rangers are favourite, Eddie. I think 25 points is a big gap to make up. I'm pretty sure there was a point deduction in there. Maybe you can clarify that for me. I'm pretty sure Celtic copped a point deduction, and that's why the gap got as big as it did. But they've made some decent signings as well. John Lundstrom from Sheffield United, again, similar to McCarthy. I think that's a quality signing for midfield. it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. The Dundee Derby's back, so that gives something else to go. I think he'll go for free. He's asking 90k a week. I think he'll get 90k a week. I think if he goes to like a Leicester, for example, I think Leicester want him as a long-term replacement to Vardy. I think if he goes to Leicester, he gets 90k a week. I think if he goes to Brighton, probably not. But I think Leicester maybe. But if he goes for free, it's because Celtic don't want to let him go yet, and I can understand that because he's a quality player. He's a quality player. It just doesn't look like he'll be re-signing for whatever reason, from what I've read anyway. So no point reduction. We were just crap. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough, Eddie. No point reduction. Well, now that's cleared up. At 25 points is a big gap to make up for any team at any level of the game. That's a massive, even in the space of a season, that's a huge gap. Like I said, I think Joe Hart and McCarthy are good signings for you guys. What do you reckon on that? I know you guys were pretty keen on getting a new keeper in, so I think Joe Hart will do a good job for you there. But it sort of comes down to what else you guys do in the transfer window. I think you guys needed to hit the transfer window pretty hard to make up that gap. But yeah, what's your feedback? Yeah, and like I said with Postecoglou, I don't think he's a ready-made fit for a club as big as Celtic, to be honest. It was pretty widely reported you guys wanted Eddie Howe. And for me, there's a clear difference in quality between Eddie Howe and Postecoglou. So you haven't got the guy you wanted. I think that's fair to say. Is Postecoglou just a make-do until you can go after someone else that you're more interested in? That's how it sort of looks to me. It sort of looks like Postecoglou is just that gap filler to sort of tread water until you guys can pull in a manager that you're more interested in actually having at the club. I could be wrong, but that's how it sort of looks from what I've read and looked into. That's sort of how it comes off. But Stevie G could let it slip. He's done it before. We'll see. What are your thoughts? Don't forget, guys, if you've just joined, say hello. Let me know you're here. Drop a like. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe for us. But yeah, talk to us and let us know you're here, guys, so we can get that conversation going. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Football Forum 1, no spaces, all lowercase. Football Forum, the number 1, on Twitch. As I was saying earlier, we were supposed to be streaming on Twitch today. I had a few people that were very keen to watch on Twitch today. For some reason, there's been an error and I can't stream to Twitch. I'm not sure what the drama is there. I'll be working on that behind the scenes. Hopefully I'm better lit for you guys. I've got a temporary solution for that, and I've got some lights on the way for lighting. I don't know why you want this to be better lit, but that's the feedback I had. I'm just constantly working behind the scenes on getting this stream more professional and better looking for you guys. So, Eddie, don't think Rangers can cope with the pressure of retaining a title. It's a lot harder. It is a lot harder. There's no doubt about that. You do get that sort of championship hangover, as they call it, and I think even in the Premier League you can make the same case. I think City are going to really struggle to maintain their title this year. It's not often you see clubs go back-to-back titles. It's not very often at all. I think a little bit of that comes down to as well, when you've won a title, it's sort of how do you push on from being the best? How do you push on to maintain that? There's sort of seems to be less room for improvement, if you will, whereas the clubs below you have a clear target and goal that they need to improve. You don't have that same sort of vision from finishing on top. So I think that plays a part. I think that's a valid point. It's very hard to retain a title, but we don't always see teams win titles by 25 points either. So, Eddie, will Arsenal sack Arteta? I tell you what, if that loss to Brentford doesn't go a long way to getting sacked, I don't know what does. And I know you've just tuned in recently, Eddie, so I was saying earlier, the biggest thing for me, the biggest disappointment in that game for me was Brentford's second goal. It was shocking. It's the sort of goal that I'd be cracking it at my under-16s at Pakenham for. It was shocking, absolutely shocking. I don't know if you've said, did you watch the game, Eddie? Because that second goal for me was just not acceptable for players at that level, to be honest. But Arteta, he's got to be running out of time. He's finished 8th 2 seasons in a row. People wanted Wenger out for much, much less. You know what I mean? Wenger was famous for finishing top 4 or 4th. And they all screamed for him to leave. I'll bet they're wishing he'll come back now. You did watch the game. Yeah, that second goal, mate. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be happy with that for our under-16s at Pakenham. I'd be very, very upset that a goal of that quality has made it in. It was just poor. There was no fight. How you let a ball bounce in the box from a throw-in when everyone's in the box, you know what I mean? And then you're the second to the ball after the bounce as well. Shocking. Like, you'd be pulling your hair out as a coach. But yeah, I do think Arteta, he's on borrowed time. He has to be. Who do they bring in, though? There's a question for those of you in chat. If Arteta leaves Arsenal, who do they bring in? I know that they were pretty heavily linked with, as well as Celtic, Eddie Howe. Is he the answer? Does Eddie Howe come in? Who comes in? It's one of them. All your good managers are in positions at the moment. Your top managers are all in positions at the moment. So what do Arsenal do? Patrick Vieira could be looking soon. Club legend back at Arsenal, maybe. It's not beer, by the way. It's just Pepsi. But yeah. Yeah, no, that... I mean, Brentford will be wrapped. And I don't know if anyone's seen the photo and the footage from the end of that game, from the end of that Arsenal-Brentford game, but it's one of those ones that meant so much to the Brentford fans. There were guys in the crowd literally in tears. Their first ever game in the top flight. They've gone and beaten Arsenal. I bet in their wildest dreams they would never have imagined that would be the case. And the manager's over there interacting with the kids, and what a club. What a club. They've won me over. I hope they do well. And based on what I've seen from Palace, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they get another win next week. So, bit dry. Yeah, who else is in here, guys? Let us know you're around. Steph, are you still around or have you moved on? Say hello. Let's have a chat. But yeah, Eddie, who comes in for Arsenal if Arteta goes? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Actually, give me a second. I'll look up the odds on this. Give me a second. Got me intrigued now. Let's see the odds on the first manager to get sacked. Ooh. The odds on Arteta have been slashed, boys. So the odds on first Premier League manager to get sacked. So it was previously Patrick Vieira, which doesn't surprise me too much, and Xisco from Watford. Wolves. Sorry. Stefan heading out now. Have a good one. No worries, Stefan. Thanks for popping in, mate. Hopefully we'll get to catch up with you soon. Yeah, keep your eyes out. We'll be streaming again at some point. But yeah, good. I would say good luck to Tottenham, but I don't like them, so enjoy the rest of your weekend, mate. So Mikel Arteta, Eddie, if you're still there, Mikel Arteta, he was previously at $17, I believe, $13. He was previously at $13 to be first out the door. He's been slashed to $5. That's a pretty big slash. That's a pretty big slash. It looks like he could be well and truly on his way. But again, who comes in? Who comes in? Patrick Vieira's close behind him. Steve Bruce close behind him. On the other end of the table, least likely to get sacked, Pep Guardiola, $101. Wouldn't mind chucking a cheeky fiver on that. Not that I endorse gambling. And then Thomas Tuchel, second last. They forget he's at Chelsea. I'd have that no higher than $20. He's at 51 at the moment. But yeah, so the betting odds seem to say that Arteta will be on his way out the door before anybody else. I think it will be a close race between him and Patrick Vieira, to be honest, from what I saw of Palace's first game. But what do you guys reckon? Who else is on at risk? I mean, Dean Smith, I don't know if you can look too much into his first game yet, but he'll be feeling a little bit more pressure. No Grealish, lose the first game. Not ideal for him. Who else have we got here? Jason, how are you, man? Good to see you. Drop us a like, mate. I've forgotten who you follow, Jason. You have to let me know who you follow, mate. We'll have a chat about your team. But how's things? You doing well, mate? You good? If it's some consolation to any Arsenal fans, Arteta's come out and admitted that Arsenal deserve to lose. I don't know how that would be any consolation, but anyway. Real Madrid. Do you have a Premier League team, Jason? Thanks for the like, by the way. Thank you. If you can share the stream, let your mates know you're in here and get some banter going. That's what this is all about, mate. We're all here to chat football, have some banter, have a good time. Do you have a Premier League team, or being a Real Madrid fan, you'll be pretty happy with what's going on with Barcelona at the moment, I'm sure. That'll be a ideal scenario for Los Blancos. Chelsea, good man, Jace. Good team. I'm completely neutral, of course. Ignore this. I'm completely neutral. But yeah, Real Madrid must be absolutely creaming over the problems Barcelona are having at the moment. And I have it on good word that Hazard has come back to Real Madrid in exceptional shape. Very good fitness, looking good for the season. So watch out. He could be about to make that transfer fee worthwhile. I hope he does. I think he's a quality player. I love Hazard, and I think there's some add-on incentive money for Chelsea if he hits some targets. So it's a win-win. Two seconds. Hey Jason, didn't Real Madrid play last night, this morning? They played recently, didn't they? Against, I want to say against Alaves. I could be wrong. What was the score there in the end? How did that game play out? Got a few more guys joining the stream. Say hello, guys. Let me know you're here. 4-1 win. That's not a bad way to start the season, Jason. You'll be happy with that. And again, Barcelona collapsing. That's only going to help you, isn't it? Jockey, keep the blue flag flying high, mate. Thanks for the follow. How you doing, my guy? Say hello. Actually, Jason, being Chelsea, you should come down and meet the boys at the Melbourne Chelsea Supporters Club. Hazard, unreal back flick assist. I'm going to have to look that up. Bear with me, chat. I need to see this. I love Hazard. I want to see the bloke do well. I need to have a look at this. Sorry, guys. This is exciting me. Ooh, that's tasty. That is tasty. That's your man right there. That's worth looking up, chat. If you haven't seen that, Hazard's assist. Woof. Chris Sage, thanks for the follow, my guy. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Chris, top 4 predictions. We did that the other night, but I'll give it to you. Liverpool number 1, United number 2, City number 3, Chelsea 4th. What's yours? Talk to me. Tell me what you reckon. But yeah, that Hazard assist, absolutely delicious. Doesn't hurt that he backed it up with a good goal either, Jason. Far out. Far out. Hazard's back, boys. Hazard's back. That's cracking. Anyway, attention back to you. How are you doing, Jockey? You doing well, mate? Chris, give us your top 4. Jason, what's your top 4 for the La Liga, mate? Let's hear what you reckon. If you are in here, guys, say hello, give us a like, give us a follow, share the stream, let everyone know you're in here. We're getting some banter ticking over now. It's going well. We'll have a good chat. Whatever league you want, whatever football you want, local league, whatever, we'll talk. It's a good time. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for supporting the stream. The more we grow, the more we can cover, basically. So, yeah, thanks for coming in. If there's anything else I need to check out as well from the weekend, from other leagues or whatever else, or any highlights you think I might have missed, go ahead and let us know, as Jason just did for me there. Absolute cracking assist. Cracking assist. Jason's top 4 for La Liga. Real Madrid, if Hazard and Bale stay fit. Yep. Chris says Chelsea to win. City 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, Leicester or Man United 4th. Yeah, that's pretty common, Chris. Most of the top 4s are Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United in some order, and Leicester seem to be everyone's favourite dark horse. So Jason's top 4 for La Liga: Real Madrid, Atletico, Sevilla, Barca. I'm actually going to go as far to say I'll be surprised if Barca get top 4. I will. I know they should. I know they're a quality club. They've still got really good players. But I think with everything going on around the club, it's naturally going to have an impact on what happens on the pitch. Messi leaving, also going to have a massive impact on what happens on the pitch. I can't see that playing out well. Who do you follow, by the way, Chris? I don't think I've ever spoken to you about who you follow. Let us know who you follow. But yeah, honestly, Jace, I'd be surprised to see Barca get top 4. I know the La Liga doesn't have exactly great depth, and there's not a whole lot of teams that are going to push up and take that spot, but there's a lot going on around Barca at the moment. I think they're going to struggle massively this year, especially on the European stage. I think they're going to have a real hard time there. So, Chris doesn't have a team. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Do you watch what's your favourite? Do you watch the Premier League, or do you just watch whatever? What do you sort of follow mostly? For those of you joining us, give us a like, share the stream, let everyone know you're here. Say hello. Most importantly, say hello. Let us know you're in here. I can see there's new people joining and watching. I can't see who you are. Say hello. Let us know you're about. Join in the chat. And yeah, have a good time. What about relegation, Jace? Who's going down? Serie A predictions. I think Juventus will win again. I think Inter Milan have sort of, I was saying this a little bit earlier, I think Inter Milan have sort of settled for consolidation. I don't think they're even looking to try and defend their title. They've sold Lukaku on, who has been massive for them, absolutely massive. Yeah, they've brought people in, and I get that, but I don't think their ambition is to try and win the league anymore. Co-Min, thanks for following, mate. Say hello in the chat. Give us a like. Share the stream about. Let your friends know you're in here. Just say everything football. But yeah, say hello and let us know who you follow, mate, so we can talk about your team. So Serie A predictions. I think Juventus win. Chris Sage watched the Chelsea Palace yesterday. Trevor Chalobah, absolute revelation. Yeah, mate. For me personally, it's one of those stories you love to see. Not just as a Chelsea fan, but as a football fan. He's been at the club since he's 8 years old. He's come in and made his senior debut in the Premier League. Played a cracking game outside of the goal. Take the goal out of it, he's played a cracking game. Had Zaha in his pocket. Absolutely shut Zaha down. Good physical, nice and strong player. Nice and tall. Amazing with the ball at his feet. 100% take on completion. And then you add to that the goal. It just capped off. It couldn't have been a better debut for the kid. Absolutely amazing. That's the sort of stuff that makes me smile. I'm glad our academy boys are getting a go. I really am. So, yeah, sorry, Jace. Serie A, I think Juventus win. I think Atalanta will be up there. Atalanta, however you want to say it. I don't think Inter Milan will fall out of the top four. I think they'll still be top four. And Napoli. I'll go with Napoli to finish in the top four as well. But again, I think similar to Spain, I think Italy is one of those leagues that's suffering massively with the COVID situation, especially financially. So it's going to come down to whichever team can survive that financial impact over the next couple of years as to who goes on and dominates. Juventus have obviously got that financial cushion, if you like, as compared to a lot of the other clubs in the Serie A. So that's why I favour them to hang about. But yeah, when you look at the way Conte's left Inter and why he's left and all that sort of stuff, and then they've sold Lukaku, it doesn't look good for Inter. It doesn't look good for Inter at all. And that's why I can't see them pushing on and achieving a whole lot. But we shall see. We shall see. What about you, Jace? What do you reckon? Yeah, so if you haven't said hello already, say hello. Tell us who you support. Let's talk about your teams. Let's talk about football. But yeah, that's my Serie A predictions. Any other predictions you guys want? Talk to me. Any other highlights you want me to check out? Talk to me. This is all here for you, boys. So, have we missed anything in chat? I should probably double check that quickly. No, I think we're up to date. If you have asked me a question and I've missed it, please put it in there again, and I'll make sure I get round to it. I do make a point of responding to everybody. That's why I'm here. I'm here to talk to you guys. So, Jason, Serie A predictions: Juventus, Napoli, Milan, Atalanta. Yeah, so pretty similar. Juventus are coming off an off year. They've kept Ronaldo for the moment anyway. I think they'll be too strong this year, especially with Milan not having Lukaku, who's been just sensational for them. So I think that's fair enough, Jace. I think that's a pretty good prediction. What do you reckon about Champions League, Jason? Who goes on? Who's in the final? For everybody in the chat, actually. Final of the Champions League, who do you reckon that'll be? And who do you reckon will take it out? I'm going to have to think on that myself. I think PSG will make the final. I really do think PSG will make the final. I think Messi, not only for his physical ability, but for the sort of lift that he will give the players around him, just because they get to play with Messi. I think that will be a big part of them getting to the final. I'm not sure who they'll play against. Chris, PSG final, come on now. What a waste of money it would be. Yeah, if they don't make the final, then you can almost guarantee that Pochettino will be out the door. He's been given it on a plate, really, hasn't he? So the question is who gets there with him. I think most people now would agree that PSG should make the final at the very least, if not win it. But anything short of making the final for PSG has to be seen as failure. Has to be. Juventus PSG, yeah, I mean that's a decent shout, Jason. I think Juventus PSG, decent shout. I honestly think if Man City can get their stuff, like everything to get, if Man City get Harry Kane, I think Man City PSG in the final, personally. If they get Harry Kane. If not, Juventus is a decent shout. You know they're going to be there or thereabouts. I could even see the likes of a Liverpool United pushing into the later stages of the competition as well. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, PSG for me, nailed on finalists. They have to be. Anything less than that, and they failed. Realistically, they failed. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens there. What else we got? On the subject of Serie A, Jason, I really enjoy Atalanta. I think they play really nice football. I'd actually like to see them sneak a title, to be honest. I really would. They play very attacking, very exciting football. Yeah, where are you back at Hampton Park next season, Jason? You got any idea what you're doing next season in terms of that sort of stuff? Where you'll be at, what you'll be doing? Let us know. What are we in? Almost an hour and a half. Doing all right. If you haven't said hello yet, give us a hi. Let us know you're here. Mr. Nate Sutton, how you doing, mate? How's things? How's the family? Hope you're well. If you haven't already watched any of the league, Nate, or followed any of it or anything like that, my advice is don't, because it's not a good year to be a Newcastle fan. Who else is in here? Say hello. Let us know you're about. Yeah, Nate, doing well, mate. Good to see your ugly head on the screen. The big challenge with this, Nate, was finding a camera that wouldn't just crack as soon as I put my face on it. So we've managed to find one. We've had to get the reinforced lens and everything, as I'm sure you can imagine. This amazing lighting is just a temporary lamp I've got in place. I'm literally just... This is all just thrown together at the moment, and we're just working as we go. I don't even know how to use all of this stream stuff properly yet. Every sort of stream I do, I'm adding different elements and we're building it up as we go. Complete noob to this, but so far it's been fun. Yeah. How's the family, mate? Doing well? Looks good. Overlays are great. Well done. Yeah, the overlays... The problem with my overlays, Nate, I don't know if maybe you can help me with this actually. The problem with my overlays is I don't know how to use most of the extra stuff, like your new follower, new donation, new subscriber, that stuff. I haven't worked out how to get that working properly yet. Like if you like or follow the stream, alert box comes up. I've worked that one out. But like my Facebook, YouTube things, and I don't know how to get those the subscribe button. I haven't got that stuff working yet. So I'm literally just working all this stuff out as we go. It's all just going on the fly. Yeah, family is good. That's good, man. Miss you guys. We need to catch up as soon as we're allowed to. As soon as Daddy Dan lets us out of being grounded, as it were. Nate Sutton, shout out, and I'll give you a hand. Of course I'm going to give you a shout out, Mr. Nate Sutton. Shout out to you and the family, mate. Shout out to you and the family. Yeah, but so we've had some feedback. We had the feedback on the lighting. So I've literally got a lamp behind my computer at the moment. Just short-term solution. I've ordered some lights in that are supposed to be the proper streaming lights. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Jack's helping me with the lighting because she's a photographer, so she's helping me with that stuff. But yeah, the actual streaming element stuff, it's literally just been sort of trial and error, and just working off of the feedback that the guys that have been coming in have been giving me about lighting and cameras and all that good stuff. So we're getting there. We're getting there. It's been good fun. Who else is in here, boys? Say hello, and girls maybe. I should. Who's in here, guys? Say hello. Let us know you're about. Yeah, but yeah, I was just like, we're in lockdown. There's nothing else to do. Football. Let's do it. So I was planning on doing this ages ago. I've got some interviews and stuff lined up in the future. Some pretty good interviews lined up in the future. I need to reach back out to those people, but they include people from the likes of the Chelsea Academy. Michael Ramsey, hey Dino, up the Chelsea. Keep the blue flag flying high, Michael. Thanks for popping in, mate. Did you watch the game? Yeah, as I was saying, so they include people from the Chelsea Academy in England. I've got a couple of guys from there lined up for interviews. The great Peter Natsis, you know, for those of you that haven't heard of him, sensational coach. We've got to get him on for a chat. I promised him he'd be number one. He'd be my first interview. So once I get this sort of stuff working a little bit better, we'll get Peter in for a chat. And then, yeah, I've got some interviews for guys from the A-League, from the NPL, from all over Europe. A couple of guys from Croatia, a couple of guys from Spain. I've got a few people that are interested in having a chat on the stream. But yeah, I just need to get it working properly first because some of these guys are quite high end in the football world, and I don't want to bring them in on a stream that's not to the level that they may be expecting. So on that note, for these sort of interviews, what sort of questions would you guys like to hear from these people? Yes, mate. Wish it was at the Crafty. Michael, I'm missing the Crafty big time, mate. Missing it big time. It's not the same. It's not the same. You need that atmosphere to enjoy the game, don't you? So hopefully we get let out of lockdown soon and we can all get up there and have a good drink and make a bit of noise, make a bit of a nuisance for ourselves. So for those of you that don't know, the Crafty Squire in Melbourne is the host pub for the Melbourne Chelsea Supporters Club. So all us Chelsea fans, we meet up in there, watch the games, have drinks, chant away, pretend to enjoy his cover company. And Nate, enjoy the rest of your stream. We'll link up soon. Thank you, Nate. Say hi to the family for me, mate. And yeah, we'll have to have a chat soon. But yeah, so if you are a Chelsea fan and you live in Melbourne or close by to Melbourne, I'm in the southeastern suburbs myself. It's well worth coming into the Crafty Squire. Have a drink with us. It's a real good time. There's some ugly mugs in there, obviously, myself included, but it's a good time. It's a good time out. Jace, if you're still about, let me know, mate. You can come in with me. I can pick you up. But yeah, it's a good night out, especially on the big games like your cup finals and stuff like that. It really gets jumping in there. It's a good time. So, and I know there's supporter clubs for just about every club in the Premier League around Melbourne. So even if you're not a Chelsea fan, jump on Google and look up whatever club it might be. Supporters Club. I think Arsenal Supporters Club are also at the Crafty Squire, if I'm not mistaken. and a couple of others. But it's worth jumping on and hooking up with your supporters club. You get some other benefits as well. Like if you do go back to England, cheaper tickets to games, or actually getting tickets to games, which is probably the harder part of it, and access to merchandise and stuff like that. When Chelsea came over a couple of years ago to Perth, I went over there and we got sort of access all areas because we were part of the supporters club, and that was a really good experience. Got to meet Cesc Fabregas, Tammy Abraham, Mark Schwarzer, Bruce Buck, who's the chairman. Who else did we get to meet? I forget off the top of my head. I got my shirt signed by Gianfranco Zola. That was amazing. So yeah, it's a good time. I would advise, if you're into your football, look up your local supporters club and get involved. It's honestly the best thing I've ever done. 5 years this year, actually. 5 years this year I've been in the Melbourne Chelsea Supporters Club. I didn't know about them before that. But yeah, I'm in my 5th year. I've got my little 5-year badge and everything. And it's well worth doing. So look up your local supporters clubs, get involved. Really good fun. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything. Just saying, it's a good time. So who else is in here? Give us a like, give us a hello. And yeah. Michael, if you're still about, how crazy did you go when Chalobah scored? Absolute worldie goal. That for me was the highlight of the game, personally. We might look to start wrapping it up soon. I'm starting to get a bit hungry, but we'll do another stream. I think the last game is like in my time zone. I think the last game for the Premier League weekend's Monday morning-ish. Yeah, Michael. Nice surprise, the 5-year badge. Yeah, it was. It's actually a nice badge as well. I must be getting old because I'm starting to appreciate badges more. I don't know, but I had no idea it was coming, so it was quite nice to open up and see the 5-year badge. Just a nice little memento. So what did you think of that Chalobah? Getting tongue-tied. Chalobah goal. Absolute quality. Who else is in here? Give us a hello, like, subscribe, share, whatever it is. You'll pop up and I'll know you're here and we can start chatting. So, Michael, it was considering there were talks of him going up for sale. Yeah, and it would have just been Tomori all over again. I'm still gutted we let go of Tomori, and he's showing his quality now in Milan. Hopefully we don't make the same mistake twice. That's all I can say. I think he's a quality kid, a quality player. It shows he can take people on. He's good on the ball. He can shoot. He's strong. Zaha was in his pocket. So for me, I mean, there's no reason he doesn't start against Arsenal as far as I'm concerned. And we need to give these kids a chance because you look at the rest of our defence, we've got a very old defence. It's a good defence. I'm not saying it's not. They're quality players, but they're getting to the age now where we can't really rely on them to play the full season out. We need some youth coming through. So for me, hopefully he gets to start against Arsenal. He does well again, and we start to see that turn into regular games for him, and we stick by him. But we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, it was a very good game. I enjoyed it. I was happy with how well we played. I wasn't expecting us to be that comfortable, if I'm being honest. But I think a little bit of that comes down to the fact that Vieira, he just didn't have an answer. Again, I can't see him lasting long. I can't see him lasting long at all. He didn't look like he had any solution to what was going on the pitch. So I think at some point he was even arguing with his own players from the sideline. I might have misseen that or misheard that, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be going too well for him. I'd be surprised if he's still there after Christmas. But we shall see. We shall see. Those of you joining, say hello, give us a like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is. Let us know you're here. James, very impressive in my books. Yeah, Michael, I was actually honestly surprised that Aspi started in place of James, especially given against that Palace team where we had a lot of the ball in their attacking area. I think James would have made sense for me in that game scenario. You can't argue Aspi's done well, and we've gone out and won the game, but I think James on the right side whipping balls in, Alonso on the left side whipping balls in, I think that would have caused more problems. Chris Sage, love seeing the fans' reaction in Arsenal TV after they lost to Brentford. It's golden. Arteta is on thin. Yeah, he is on a thin line like Vieira, correct. And I think Arsenal fan TV, everyone can agree, is the gift that keeps on giving. I did see a clip of one of them at the bar going absolutely spaz at Arteta, shouting at him through the TV to leave the club. Yeah, I love Arsenal fan TV. It cracks me up. It cracks me up, especially when they're playing as poorly as they are the last few seasons. It just never ceases to provide entertainment. Arsenal, not in a great way. They finished 8th 2 seasons in a row, losing to Brentford, first game of the season. As I was saying earlier, you look back a couple of years ago, a bit more than a couple of years ago now, but so when the fans were demanding Wenger out, and Wenger was finishing top 4 consistently, but it wasn't enough. They wanted a title, they wanted trophies, blah, 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 blah. They've buggered him off and brought in this Arteta, who they're trying to stick by and they're trying to give him time and blah, blah, blah. He's done far worse. He's done far worse. And at some point, you've got to sit there and go, you've had enough time now. You've had enough transfer windows and enough time now to implement some sort of a system. And it just doesn't seem to be there. So I can't see him lasting much longer either. Who goes first, Arteta or Vieira? I think Arteta, because he's already had longer. I think Vieira will be given the benefit of a doubt for a little bit and given a chance to try and put something in place. I think Arteta has just about worn out his welcome. I'm surprised that we haven't already heard about him being sacked, or at least links to who the next coach might be. But Arsenal Fan TV, cracker, absolute cracker. Just making sure I haven't missed anything in chat, sorry. Be with me a second. Yeah, so just gone brain dead, sorry guys. So the remaining games, as I was saying before, I think the last game is like Monday, early hours Monday morning. I've got to work Monday, so I might do a stream, just a short one, Monday afternoon after work, or Monday evening should I say, just to recap those last couple of games, talk about how they play out, and whatever else you guys want to discuss. So that's probably what we'll end up doing. We'll let the next couple of games play out, and then Monday evening, so tomorrow evening, we'll do a short stream. My last 2 streams have been sort of this one and the last one 2 hours, and this one close to. So we'll wrap this one up shortly. I'm getting hungry. But Monday, so tomorrow night, we'll probably do another short stream. We'll make it around 7 o'clock, so that gives everyone time to get home, have dinner, all that sort of stuff. Cap off the last couple of games, and then we'll start to look at games coming up in the following week as well, and see what sort of happens with the time we have there and what happens in chat and all that sort of stuff. So we will wrap it up. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for joining us. Anyone that liked us, follow us, subscribe us, all that good stuff. Thank you for coming in and supporting the stream. I'll continue trying to make progress. Sorry for those guys that wanted to watch on Switch. I'm not sure what the technical difficulty was there. I will look into it and try and get it resolved ASAP. But until then, talk to your friends, let them know we're here. Everything football, guys. Let us know what you want to hear in these interviews, what sort of questions you want me to ask. And until then, we'll catch you next time.